What's up, everybody, and welcome to Just Because Gaming. My name is Michael,
And I'm Ray.
and thank you for joining us. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Go on our socials, do all the things and all the places. And with that being said, let's just jump in. Today, one of the things we wanted to talk about is there's been a lot of controversy and rumors regarding the next generation Xbox and the next generation PlayStation. Hold on. So, from what a lot of the information that's been leaked is saying is, for one, the PlayStation 6 is currently being codenamed Orion. Not sure why. Maybe they just like, astronomy. And the next generation Xbox is currently codenamed Magnus. And unlike in previous generations where the two consoles are practically the same, like with the Xbox One X and the Xbox One and the PS4 and then the PS5 and then the Xbox Series X and S, where the technology is practically the same. With this upcoming generation, the specs that have been leaked because of like copywriting and patents and everything, the specs that have been leaked are wildly different. So just to talk about some of the things, let's talk about the CPU, for example. They're both an AMD Zen 6. However, the PlayStation is an 8-core processor, while the Xbox is an 11-core processors. And yes, just basic simple math tells you more core processors, more good, caveman-like.
Yeah,
So
right.
and the GPU, they're both going to have RDNA 5, and the PlayStation 6 is going to have 40 to 46 units of processing power, whereas the Xbox is said to have 68. Again, caveman math, more units, more good. So the main thing is the difference in approach, because with Xbox, it's just funny because they basically have flopped their approaches because they've taken each other's position. With PlayStation, normally that has been the hardware powerhouse, whether it be the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5. Usually they're the ones that just dominate with hardware. And with Xbox, they tend to have a little bit weaker hardware, but that's because they try to have a more balanced system. They don't try to just have overpowered everything. Well, now it's kind of reversed. And now Xbox is wanting to be the hardware powerhouse with all the best everything. And it's PlayStation that has actually said that for this upcoming generation that they're trying a more balanced approach. And because they're doing that balanced approach, Ray, I don't know if you've heard about this, but aside from having a more balanced approach with the less competitive hardware, that PlayStation will be more competitive with their price. And the rumored price, which is like taking off like wildfire. So usually the more something is talked about and kind of like loosely confirmed, the more accurate it is. And everyone's saying that this next PlayStation 6, the PlayStation Orion, is going to be $599, which is insanity because that's roughly what consoles have been at for the past couple generations.
Right. And this is a lot more powerful. Just the components alone. How much of a loss are they taking on this, you think?
So it says they're definitely going to eat the cost of the tariffs. So, that's one thing that I'm loving about, PlayStation is they're like, we don't care what the tariffs are going to be. We're focusing on the gamer. So I appreciate that. And I respect that from Sony. Yeah, apparently they're going to eat some cost and they're going to eat the cost of the tariffs just so that they can stay competitive price wise. Now, there's two parts of me that get perked up when I see that. One part is like, wow, that's really awesome of PlayStation. That's really cool that they want to be that competitive, because I feel like it's kind of known, like not specifically known, but just based off the fact that Xbox recently upped the price of their consoles by $100. That's kind of like a path in the wrong direction. And
Right.
now
Especially when the
with
console is 5 years old.
Yeah.
What
And
are
now
you
with
thinking?
PlayStation speculated heavily to be at 599, that's a path in the right direction. So that's going to win a lot of gamer goodwill, which I mean, you want people to love your console because that's, when the more people love your console, the more they're going to buy your games, the more they're going to buy your accessories and peripherals and all that. And with that being said, there's also the other side of me that gets perked up, and I'm like, what if this is a swerve? Like, what if they're saying it's going to be $5.99, but they're actually targeting $6.99, and they want to see if Xbox will take the bait? Because currently, Xbox is slated, again, speculation and rumor, but Xbox is slated to release their new console, the Xbox Magnus, or whatever it'll end up being called, actually next year. That's what everyone's saying, is that the new Xbox console will come out holiday of next year. And if that's the case, if PlayStation is saying what their price is going to be just to mess with Microsoft, that would be an evilly brilliant play to say, "Oh, we're going to release it at $5.99," knowing they have no intention of releasing it at $5.99, just to see if they can get Xbox to undercut their own prices. And let's say they're like, "Okay, well, we need to be competitive with Sony, and Sony's saying $5.99, so we got to come in at $5.49, and yeah, that might bankrupt us, but we got to be competitive." And then Sony comes out and they're like, "Yeah, we're going to do $6.99." you know, that's that would be an extremely slick play, because then Microsoft would be hurting themselves just for the idea to stay competitive when that was never the plan at all. But
Or it might actually help them out drastically because here all of a sudden you're the cheapest console out there and the most powerful. Now what?
yeah, yeah,
Everyone's gonna be
then
like,
it would
I might want to buy this.
then it would totally backfire on Sony. But
Yeah.
who knows? I mean, I'm just honestly, I would love for both consoles to be listed at $5.99, because I will buy both. I will do the payments through GameStop, and I'll do the $50 a paycheck. I don't care. But yeah, that would be awesome.
But see, if you buy an Xbox, if it pans out to be this PC hybrid thing they're talking about, and you can play those PlayStation games on Steam on your Xbox, I don't need to buy both. I can just buy the one.
Yeah.
We'll say it is
And
$800 for this one instead of 600. For $200 more, I'm basically getting the PlayStation as well.
that's true, with exception to any games that they don't release on Steam, because that's the thing that you're trying to
Right.
focus on, is that you can play PlayStation games through the Steam app. The only downside of that is that a lot of the times not every PlayStation game comes to Steam immediately. There have been cases like God of War and Spider-Man where there's like a 1 year gap. In fact, I think for God of War it was like a 2.5 year gap before the game got released on Steam.
Yeah,
But
but that's changing drastically. PlayStation is getting much more, there might be a delay at 6 months tops before they release something on the PC, if there's a delay at all. So,
yeah.
and I'm okay with that. I can wait. I have a backlog of games now just on my Xbox. having trouble getting through those. So, some of their tentpole games I would like to play. The God of War, um, what is the one? Drake,
Uncharted.
Uncharted. I'd probably play those. I like that style of game. I like
Oh,
the adventure
Uncharted is
games.
so good.
Yeah, and then yeah, Spider-Man. If they released the Spider-Man series, I'd play those for sure too. That's
Yeah.
about it. There's nothing else on PlayStation that I have to play.
So for me, as a comic book nerd, as you can tell, I've played pretty much all the Spider-Man games, even the ones that are like games from the movie, where it's like Spider-Man 2, the movie, the game. It's been a roller coaster with Spider-Man games, but these ones produced by PlayStation, they're just chef's kiss.
Yeah,
Because the most recent ones were by this company called Beanox, and those were actually pretty good, but there's just no comparing it to these Sony production ones. They're just masterpieces. And, I have played so much of the regular Spider-Man game. I played Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is like a separate game. It's not Spider-Man 1 or 2, but it's like separate. It's like if you were to make a game and call it Spider-Man 1.5. That's essentially what it is. It's basically glorified DLC. It's like they made a game out of DLC.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it's awesome. And then yeah, Spider-Man 2 I've dabbled with a little bit, but just from the little bit I've played, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's such a
And
good game. I really hope that
that's
comes
something
to
that I think game developers could take from like the Spider-Man game. Yes, Spider-Man 2 is more of the same, but the same was so good. I want more of the same. I don't need you to reinvent the wheel for the next game just because it's Spider-Man 2.
yeah.
You can make it the same basic mechanics and everything. I know how I can jump into this. I know how to play it already. Just give me a new story, new content,
Yeah.
new whatever. I mean, the comic books don't redraw Spider-Man as a different looking character every time, you know? Not every time. I know sometimes he gets a black suit or, things
Dude,
change or different
dude,
artists take him over. So,
dude, that just tells me you haven't played the Spider-Man games, because in Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2, there is like a wall of suits you can pick. I
yeah.
mean, there's
I mean, he had a
the
lot of different suits in the thing, but he was still Spider-Man. You knew when he's swinging on a web, this is Spider-Man. I
yeah,
know who this guy is. Yeah. Okay. The
yeah.
color of his suit may have changed a little bit. It's still him.
One of my favorite suits is Ghost Rider Spider, where he gets the Ghost Rider ability and it's Spider-Man with a flaming skull.
Nice.
And the best part about this is all these animations are plugged in, like the skins just plug right in. So you could be going and playing the Spider-Man game with the Ghost Rider skin, and everyone just acts like it's normal. Like you're talking to Mary Jane and your skull's on fire, and it's like totally cool. She's like, "Oh, hey, Spider-Man." It's like, "Hi."
Right.
He's just like, "Oh, hi, Mary Jane." Meanwhile, his skull's on fire. But actually, one of my favorite suits, I forget what it's called. I think it's called Big Time Spider-Man, and he's wearing like a black suit, but instead of it being the Venom suit, it's just black suit Spider-Man with like green outlines.
Hmm.
And it's just, I don't know, something about the black and green color combination just looks so good together.
Very Xbox
Yeah,
on a PlayStation.
yeah, yeah. But no, and there's also the Future Foundation Spider-Man where Peter Parker works with the Fantastic Four, and they have the Future Foundation, and it's like an all-white suit, and it just, that too just looks sick. So yeah, there's so many different costumes, and like I said, you can play it throughout the course of the game. Just whatever tickles your fancy, hey, play it that way. You don't have to play with the main suit of the game. But I
Yeah.
think as the game progresses, you unlock new suits, and then I think that becomes your default. So you end up changing the suit unless you manually keep changing it back. But the suits in the game are also just awesome. So it's a good time.
Well, that's it for our show today. Leave comments on us. Let us know which one you're most interested in. The new PlayStation, the new Xbox, what rumors you might have heard, or confirmations you might have if you have sources we don't have. It'd be great. But yeah, let us know, talk to us, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next episode. Thanks a lot.
Peace.